guys, welcome to the fish room. I am Rachel O'Leary, and today is another day in the life of a fish pimp. And let me tell you, this week has sucked. Right now I'm getting ready for a shrimp import order that was supposed to be here Tuesday. It is now Thursday, and I'm sure of that this time. I am just going around and prepping quarantine tanks, and for shrimp, that is basically bare tanks with some rhizome plants in it. And I'm cleaning glass so I'll be able to monitor them easily with those foods that I stick to the glass and get some good photography. I have 8 species of shrimp coming in. I was supposed to have a fish order, a very large one, coming in this week. It was canceled. I was also supposed to be having a new building installed for my hardscape materials, but zoning said no. So I'm a little bit frustrated today. So I'm going to get to work and make the best of a bad situation. And when my shrimp order comes in, I will show you guys that process as well. So as you guys know, I don't believe in mixing species of shrimp if they're the same genus, which means every color form of Neocaridina or Caridina gets its own tank. And this is basically how I set them up. They're relatively bare with a couple pieces of wood, some moss, and an oversized sponge filter. Some of them have softening substrate in them, which is Tropica in this case, in order to provide a more ideal environment. But the Neocaridina tanks are basically bare. And after they get past those first few days where I'm observing them, taking macro photography and making sure that they don't have any visible parasites or illness, then I will add in more plants for their comfort and for grazing purposes. Shrimp are sturdy if kept properly, but upon import, it's a bit of a crapshoot. I could end up with, $1,000 worth of disease shrimp, or I could end up with $1,000 of awesome new stock that I can quarantine and add to my existing lines or have to sell. So cross your fingers for me that all the species I'm getting in will do well. So far the clutch is unchanged. If we pop off the lid, you can see it looks basically the same. There's no excess condensation on the inside of the lid, so I'll just snap that back on there. I would expect to start seeing a change in color within the next 3 to 4 days if the clutch is viable. Now, one thing I should mention is that there's no way for me to know this clutch is viable, as in has baby snails in it, and until it starts to turn color, so that's always fun. All in all, I forgot to show Captain Cranky Pants last week. So here he is being surly. He was attacking his decor, so he's a little torn up as usual, and there's whiskey. In fact, as always, Captain Cranky Pants is hungry, so we will feed him. Now, I just feed him large cichlid pellets. In this case, they're Hikari. He likes them. He's picky, so I don't change things too much. Ooh, tried to get me. See, he's kind of irritated that I have the camera out, as he's giving me the hairy eyeball and not eating when normally he attacks food. Captain, quit being a prima donna. There you go. You can see what a mess they make. He just grinds those pellets in his pharyngeal teeth, and all that debris comes out through his gill plate. It's pretty gross. Whiskey's out for some food. Oh, Captain. You're such a ham. These guys are also begging for food. The pollies generally hang out at the bottom until they see me start feeding the fish room. And then all of a sudden, everyone comes and wants attention. I feed these guys a range of pellets. Really, whatever I have on hand that's of an appropriate size because they eat so much. I grew them out on Hikari Massivore. Most recently, it's been extreme catfish scrapers or the large pellets from Hikari. Today, I think it's going to be, let's see what we got. Today, it's going to be kelp wafers by Northfin, simply because they're the right shape and size. So I'll drop them in, and you'll see they should all come over relatively quickly. These guys don't have the world's best vision, so usually they smell the food and then sort of amble about until they encounter it. You see everybody's starting to smell it. I still haven't gotten to clean that back glass. I always enjoy watching these guys feed. I mean, they make a huge mess. But it's definitely exciting. You can see the tropical's not at all bothered by the pellets being on the bottom. It's this guy I have to drop floating in for. You can see all the stuff they're stirring up. The glass looked pretty clean before they started this flurry of activity. But they bite apart the pellets, which leaves a lot of debris in the water column. That gar's a pig. I love these guys though. Now in the 150 today, I'm going to be feeding the Sarah O-Nip treat tablet. It's a bunch of compressed goodies, including bloodworms, krill, and tooth effects. But what I like about it is that I can stick it to the glass so it doesn't get blown all over the place in this aquarium that has such a high flow. So I just stick it underwater and press it to the glass. And then it slowly dissolves and falls apart, or the fish gets smart and come up and nibble on it. Just means instead of me dropping food in and having it get blasted across the tank and stuck in all the plants, it stays put for them to graze on a little bit better. It's a pretty ingenious idea, I think. This is also the food I'll be using in the shrimp tanks, simply because I can stick it to the front glass and they'll all gather on it, and then I can get some macro photography from the top as well as underneath side so that I can make sure they're all healthy. See them fighting the current to eat right on the pellet. It also gives you a good idea of just how much flow this aquarium has. I'm feeding the apple snail tank pretty heavily, which is also the green babalti tank, as I want a lot more clutches, and the shrimp are catching on to where I feed, and they always sort of hang out over in this area waiting for it. So again, like if you're not sure how many shrimp you have, using a pellet like this is a great way to get them to congregate in one area so you can get an idea. Anyway, I am going to continue just puttering around the fish room until I find out if my shrimp order is coming in or not. And if I do, you guys may get a second bonus video this week, so cross your fingers for me. And to close it out, this is a bait ball of rummy nose tetras eating the Sarah O-Nip. You can see how well it's received. I'm really liking the Sarah line of products. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday.